Okay, this is Ringwalk Media in association with Well Ice Therapy. Mr. Adam Morallee, who owes me one. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I owe you one, mate. I owe you one.
Listen, exciting fight week ahead and a great press conference.
Yeah, that's good. It's always great to see Joe. I love seeing Joe at press conferences. He always does something a little bit different, a little bit funny. And I liked it there when he said, I don't like the word revenge.
Yeah, well, of course, that's been used elsewhere this week and last week. But it is a tough fight. You know, it's a big ask, and, God knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, look, we've gone to a very, very intense 10-week camp. I think we feel like we know what's going to happen. I think we know how this fight plays out. The boxers have seen each other before. It's happened once before. You see with rematches, similar patterns emerge. So I think we know what's going to happen, and we've taken and made the right adjustments to get a win this time.
Joe spoke about small things being changed, but one of the big things that's been spoken about all week so far is the weight. Do you think that that's a key factor?
Yeah, I mean, there's ups and downs, right? The more weight you put on, maybe the less mobile you are. You know, you can have positive and negative effects. Joe's coming in a lot heavier. You'll see it the weigh-in tomorrow. He's a lot heavier. He's 20 pounds heavier. Right, which is a lot. I think Zhang's come in a bit lighter because, as I said in the press conference, I think he feels like he needs to lose a bit of weight because this is going long. So you're going to have Joe Joyce having more impact with his punches, and you're going to have Zhang a bit fitter. I think Zhang was blowing in that 6th round. You know, they can say what they like about the knockout, etc., but I think Zhang was struggling. So I think he's going to be working on his fitness, and I think it's going to be a tremendous fight.
We looked at the stats the same as you did, and you were right. Joe was landing 80, 100, shots to Zhang's 20 or 18. So it's a big difference over a longer period in a fight.
It's a huge difference, but I think, to be fair, Joe's punches weren't troubling Zhang. Like, the punch he was hitting him with weren't troubling him. Joe's not a massive concussive puncher. One punch knockout artist. That's not him. But the punches get to you eventually. And I think with that added weight, that added strength, the punches will start to slow Zhang down. Zhang will tire second half of the fight.
What do you think about Zhang's coach's comments to yourself that shit all about? We have to raise it, but I
mean, look, sure, he didn't like my interpretation of the first fight. Fair enough,
Fair enough. Well, that was nice and short and sweet, wasn't it? And Zhang, he's obviously very, very confident, and he stated there he wants to end Joe's career.
Look, I think to some extent, if Joe loses, his career's not over, right? And Zhang's career not over if he loses. No. But there's a distinction between your career being over and being a world champion. And it's a very, very, very long road back for Joe if he loses this fight.
As it is for both of them, to be fair. I think going forward, like you said, they're going to be in effect, the not the interim, but the next in line, in effect. How long do you think that's going to actually take? If Joe wins this fight and he becomes, next in line, how long do you think he's going to have to wait for that chance?
Depends if Undisputed gets made. If Undisputed doesn't get made, 3 to 6 months. If Undisputed does get made, it might be some time. But I think as a result of Undisputed getting made, he'll be elevated.
Yeah, I think he will be. And who do you think that's going to be against?
Well, if he gets elevated, at that moment he's WBO world champion, and then other fights become available for him. He can look at a Wilder fight, he can look at a Joshua fight, he can look at those fights because he's holding a world title. Because there's never been a reason to fight Joe Joyce unless you absolutely have to.
Well, I wouldn't like to either, I'll tell you. Now listen, I know it's Joe Joyce week, but we just want to have 2 minutes on your other fighters. Florian Marku, I got about 30 seconds with in Manchester. He had a great comeback.
Yeah, he was phenomenal that night. Florian's currently in India, actually. Like a gap year student, finding himself. He's in India. But yeah, he was phenomenal. Want him out again before the end of the year, and then big fights next year.
And he said that the plan was always to go in and make a statement on that night on the comeback. But I mean, 45 seconds without a punch thrown, and it ended on 52. That's some statement.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, Florian Marku, fully focused, meditating as he is, relaxed as he is, in the boxing ring is a tremendous thing to see.
And, of course, youngster Junaid Bostan. He's out very shortly. We love Junaid, and he's got a bright future ahead of him.
He's out in 2 weeks' time, and he's an absolute superstar. What we've got to do with Junaid is hold him back. That's the thing we've got to do with Junaid, and he's young, and he's full of energy, And I think from a manager's perspective, it's at this time of his career, he really needs to be really well managed in terms of the fights he has. I think when you flip over to someone at Joe Joyce's stage of his career, he needs to be managed. Okay, the fights kind of come to you, but he needs every other aspect managed. Junaid now, he needs the right fights.
We sort of have seen his career from day one, and he's now got his own style, but it's very similar to a Nassim Hamid style, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's very exciting. He's a showman. I think different to Prince Nassim, he's not getting a lot of hate. I think you look at like a Ben Whittaker, who's kind of mimicked that. Half the people love him, half the people hate him, and everyone will pay to watch him, right? That's the thing about a Whittaker. But Junaid, everyone seems to love him.
He's very mature for his age, actually.
Yeah. He's mature. He's a terrific guy. But yeah, he's got the flashy style, but people don't find it disrespectful. I think with Prince Nassim, people found it disrespectful.
He's got some good influences around him, of course, over in there, isn't he? You know.
I mean, tremendous gym, Steel City Gym. A lot of the fighters we manage are at the Steel City Gym. Nicola, Lerone, Florian, Junaid. Brilliant influences around him.
And one last one before I let you go, because I know you're busy. Our good friend, Lisa Whiteside, she has retired. What have you got to say about Lisa and her career?
I mean, what a career, or what an ambassador for the sport. As an amateur, I don't think she ever got the credit she probably deserved. I think she would have beaten Nicola. I think, had that ever happened in the amateurs or the pros, Lisa would have come out on the right side. She started her pro career very quickly. Brilliant start to her pro career. She had a wonderful baby boy, Jensen, and then kept taking fights, kept looking good, and then knew when the right time to retire was. So brilliant career, wonderful legacy.
Well, listen, back to Joyce Zhang. It's going to be a cracking night. Wembley's going to be rocking, and you know what's going to happen. So we wish you all the best, and we hope that Joe gets the result he wants.
Thanks very much. Cheers.